Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So yesterday I ended up posting a video talking about my favorite free agency signing, which was Quentin Jefferson, right? Defensive tackle from the Seattle Seahawks. Although it was a tough decision, McCall Hardman was up there, Al Woods was up there, but I ended up giving the small edge to Jefferson. I'll leave the video link down below in the description box. And by the way, all the comments on that video, I mean, it was totally awesome to just kind of scroll through and see where everybody stood, right? Getting everybody's individual takes. I mean, it's awesome because there's no right answer here. There's no right or wrong. It's just personal preference. And, you know, that's one of the coolest things about sports is like, you know, everybody's entitled to their own takes. So I had to follow that video up with this one, which is where I talk about my favorite draft pick that the Jets made in this year's class. And there's really one guy for me that stands out above the rest. I personally give this pick an A+. I loved it on draft night. I really liked the prospect before the draft. I didn't think he was going to be going to the Jets, admittedly, but when they made the pick, I was like totally ecstatic. It's center from Wisconsin, Joe Tippmann, second round pick. Coming in at 6'6", 313, Tippmann was actually a redshirt junior, a 2-year starter. So in total, he had 24 starts under his belt. And he was arguably the #1 center prospect in the entire draft. If he wasn't one, he was a slight #2 behind John Michael Schmitz, center from Minnesota. Okay, it was a back and forth between those guys. I loved both of them. And, you know, ironically enough, John Michael Schmitz ended up getting drafted by the Giants. So it's cool that the two top center prospects are going to, you know, two New York teams. But, you know, I look at Tippmann here. You could just go down the checklist of likable traits as a college prospect, right? Does he have size? Yes. Does he have strength? Yes. Does he have athleticism? Yes. Does he have a solid foundation of college experience? Yes. Again, 24 starts under his belt. And by the way, he has a lot of production in the passing games, especially, right? A total of 590 pass blocking snaps. He only allowed 1 sack. Absolutely crazy. He has production in the running game. He's going back to the athletic section for a second, he has that ability to get up and move, get to the second level, pull. And we take a look at what Nathaniel Hackett's going to be calling for in his, you know, West Coast system. What blocking scheme is he going to be running? Does Tippmann really fit the mold as a future building block within the offense? The answer is yes, totally. If he wasn't, he would not have been picked in the second round. And we're just looking at all these positive qualities, right? The physical attributes, the college resume, how he projects to the next level, where the draft insiders, the draft gurus, if you will, everybody loved Tippmann. Nobody was looking at Joe Tippmann saying, "Oh man, this guy, he's a boom or bust type of prospect. We have to hope for the best. Let's just cross our fingers. Hopefully he works out for the Jets." It's like, no, we kind of know what we're going to be getting here. High floor, high ceiling type of guy. One player that shared that trait was Elijah Tucker, right? Somebody who just is going to come in and just do a solid job. We kind of know what we're going to get as a baseline, but at the same time also has a lot of room to improve, get better, hone his craft, grow physically, grow mentally, and really just be an anchor on the offensive line. And that's exactly what we're seeing from AVT so far. And by the way, I had a tooth pulled 2 days ago here, so I have some stitches up on the top of my mouth. So if I sound different, if I look different talking, that's the reason why. But in any case, one more thing that I wanted to point out, when we look at the top centers, typically these past couple of seasons, you know, at the center position, we're talking about guys like Tyler Linderbaum, right? Former Iowa Hawkeye, gets drafted to the Baltimore Ravens. Creed Humphrey, right? Oklahoma to the Kansas City Chiefs. Who else? Garrett Bradbury, NC State to the Vikings. You know, if you are a highly rated center prospect, if you're being talked about as the top guy in the class, somebody that is worth taking in rounds 1, 2, 3 in that, you know, ballpark, chances are, I don't want to jinx him here, but chances are he's going to be a solid NFL pro. Again, the baseline is pretty high. NFL circles, NFL teams, organizations know what they're going to be getting. Center's just one of those positions where it's like, okay, we're taking him round 1, we're taking him round 2. He's the real deal because nobody nobody is going to be reaching at that position, like hoping to find the answer there with a first round pick, or, in Tippmann's case, a high second round pick. So I think that really bodes well in his favor. And really the last thing that I kind of want to talk about here, and it's a little crazy to talk about it because, I want to say, 2 weeks before the start of the NFL draft, the Jets did not even have a center on the roster. They bring back Connor McGovern on a cheap 1-year contract worth just under $2 million. Granted, it's a 1-year contract. I was not expecting that. I was legit thinking that Connor McGovern was going to get 4, 5, 6, 7 million, somewhere in that range annually. And he signs this cheap 1-year deal with the Jets, and my mind is blown. I was debating on, bringing McGovern back, signing Ben Jones. He could reunite with Todd Downing and Keith Carter, but they end up re-signing McGovern. And I was thinking, hey, once the NFL draft rolls around, we're probably not going to be taking a center. We just brought McGovern back for 1-year stopgap. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is in the building. It's not a major position of need because we're in the win now mode. Let's target positions of need. That was not the Jets' approach, right? Obviously with Will McDonald in the first, but I digress. When we look at Tippmann in the second round, I don't think that the Jets are ruling out him starting this season. Personally, I would not be shocked in the slightest if Joe Tippmann starts from day one. I'm not, over exaggerating or anything like that. Like I to take a center like that when we already have somebody who the Jets feel comfortable about, they made it a priority to re-sign before the NFL draft. And you're still taking them in round 2. Again, we could have went in a bunch of different positions, whether it was like a wide receiver or safety or something like that. Linebacker. The Jets, they push their chips into the middle of the table, selecting Joe Tippmann here, and I'm totally pumped up. I remember doing that draft reaction video. I gave it an A+. I'm still sitting here right now, mid-June. I'm giving it an A+. I love the pick, and I would love to hear yours down below in the comment section. There's a lot of... I felt like Joe Douglas's approach, and we kind of just touched on it, but Joe Douglas's approach was the opposite of what I was thinking, what I was anticipating going in. I was really thinking that the Jets were going to say, hey, here's our positions of need. Let's really fill these vacancies and load the squad up for this season and next season, in 2023 and 2024. But man, it was really focused on adding depth, BPA approach, having guys just trusting their big board and not really letting the free agency decisions, the trade decision with Aaron Rodgers, affect how they, really affect their plan of attack on draft night. So anyway, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.